So you got a busy schedule today, yeah?
Well, it is, but it's not. It's like I'm kind of sitting like there was like a ton of announcements to make and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I just got wrapped up in that crap.
Mm.
But
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was and I was speaking to an old friend about some stuff, and yeah, boring, mundane things. But because we're self-managed, I lost track of time.
Yeah. So just on that note, self-managing yourself, yeah, that's a big job, isn't it? Is that something because you just can't find the right manager, or you just feel you can do it as well or better than somebody else, or what's the thinking behind that?
I don't really know why we're self-managed. It's kind of like we've worked with people and they've been amazing, but it's kind of like with the COVID and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of like there was so much time to do things, and it just kind of like whatever. It wasn't necessary.
Sure.
But I mean, man, I don't. It's kind of like boring stuff to talk about, really. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just a bit. It's a bit unusual for a band in your situation. That's. I was just curious, but.
Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, I'm pretty neurotic or whatever, and and I'm always doing something. I need to be active. So
yeah,
it's been managed somewhat well. Not today, obviously, but
yeah.
yeah, but it works,
Yeah, good stuff. Well, obviously you got the new album coming out at the Hotspot, which is another very fine piece of work. I was just thinking before I was talking to you that I had a ticket to see you like nearly 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
On the 20th of March at Heaven in London. And and my I think it was only 2 days. Well, we kind of thought, is this going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then 2 days beforehand, they said, no, it's not happening.
It's a real bummer because we were so looking forward to doing that show.
Yeah.
And we postponed it 3 times. And like, we'd everything planned for it because it made the most sense. And like, it's kind of like a combination of all of our backgrounds and everything, you know what I mean? Like club world, band world, everything. And we had everything planned. We had like, I mean, it's corny, but it would have been really good. But it's like balloon drops and, visual, all the whole thing laid out. And basically COVID stripped that from us, and we kept postponing it and rescheduling it. We did it 3 times because we really wanted to do it. But then what happened was we got the Forum show, which is coming up in April, on April 7th.
Yeah.
And it was like, basically the scheduling, we couldn't redo the Heaven show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're moving up or whatever it is. But
yeah, that's fine.
It was that was probably my most saddest moment of the COVID thing. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
In terms of, I mean, that sounds ridiculous. It's not the most saddest moment of COVID, but in terms of the music and the band or whatever, it was probably the biggest bummer of our stuff. I mean, obviously, whatever. It means nothing to the scheme of things of people dying and shit like that. But
well, you remember it, I remember it, and it was right on the cusp, wasn't it? And it was just that big moment, wasn't it? Oh my God, can't even go and see a band anymore. What the hell, So it was big for you, obviously, because that's your job, that's what you do. So
and that show particularly was like, it was really important to us, and it was melding the club world, band world, gay, straight, everything goes, all that stuff. And it would have been basically a big party. And, I'm sure we'll do it again. We'll do it at some point when things get normal. I mean, obviously one door closes, another one opens. We're nearly in World War III or whatever. But, we would like nothing more than to do that show sometime.
And it's because of that venue, is it particularly Heaven, or
I'm obviously not me. Well, not obviously, but I'm not from here. But like my wife and all my friends and stuff, they all used to go to Heaven, like
Yeah.
club days and all that stuff. And it has a real big sort of like some or meaning and feeling of going out and it just would have been really special.
Yeah, it would have been special for me as well.
Well, maybe it'll happen.
It's all right. I'm okay.
Hopefully you can come to the Forum.
No, I'm going to come to the Brighton show because
awesome.
I live in Brighton, so I'll come and I've just actually noticed that you're doing a matinee that day as well. You're doing 2 shows in Brighton.
Yes.
And you might have to correct me how you say their name, but it's CLTDRP, but is that like control drop?
Clit drop.
Click drop.
I'd say clit drop.
I've been playing some of their tracks and they're great. Yeah. So that's going to be a good bill,
Yeah. You could say cult drop too, I guess.
Yeah.
but I'll say clit drop.
And the idea of doing a matinee show as well is a good one, in my opinion, because there's not enough matinee shows. And why the hell not do a show in the afternoon? So, yeah, why not? I mean, it's
why
good.
Not?
You're fresh, you're alive, you got the whole day ahead of you. On a weekend, it's like, let's go and see a show. Yeah,
let's go see a show.
Like a festival. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of afternoon shows, not because I go to bed early or anything like that, but I do sometimes. But it's
me too.
Yeah, it's like a end of the night. You're thinking, my God, I'm jaded. I'm probably going to go home a little bit inebriated, and you've also signed, obviously, your Bright Connections coming out now, the Bella Union label, which is what this album's coming out on, which is a new label for you. Simon Raymond, of course. Cocktail Twin. He's well, all I can say is that he loves his music. He's just first and foremost, he's a music fan, isn't he? And
oh man, 100%. Like signing with him was like a blessing, and he's, from my experiences anyways, he's like 100% artist driven.
Yeah.
And he's just allowed us kind of, it's almost like there's no rules. He's just like enabling us to do whatever we want, which is amazing. And it feels really good, and we're super proud to be on the label. And it's just really exciting. It's like new producers, new label, new sound, new everything. And Brighton is actually I love Brighton. A really good friend of mine and like family, old school Brighton head is Alice Russell.
I know.
Brighton.
I know.
Yeah. She's part of my family.
And you just announced you're playing Glastonbury, which is nice. All these things happening now after 2 years of what the hell?
Totally.
I'm sure you've been doing stuff, but obviously not so much in the live arena. But does it feel like? I mean, it feels like for me that we're kind of over it now. We're just getting back to, well, I wouldn't say that what it was before, but some kind of normality. And before long, it'll be 100%. That's how I feel anyway. But I don't know how you feel about it all.
Yeah, you mean in terms of
life and just being able to do what you want to do, in terms of going out and doing shows and mixing and stuff like that?
I kind of feel like it's a weird one for me. I don't want to get doom and gloom because it's weird. I feel normal. Luckily, like I feel like it's back to normal. But obviously, the you can feel it in the nightclub area or whatever. Like when you go out and stuff like that, you can feel that there's still an element to it. But this whole like impending fucking World War III thing is putting a whole new, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like one door closes, another one opens. And it's like, it's hard to kind of, like I say, I don't want to get too into that mode or whatever, but it's like, it's hard to think about any of that stuff with all that shit going on right now.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
know,
like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it's bothering me. I'll keep checking on things and seeing what the hell's happening because there's
yeah,
an air of uncertainty about it all, isn't there? So it's not
yeah, and
good.
it puts everything into perspective. It's like, oh shit, I'm trying to sell some tickets to a fucking show, and then
Yeah,
someone else is trying to not get bombed. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
obviously that's been the way for everywhere over time, or not everywhere, but a lot of places. And I don't know. It just seems like it's like one thing after another right now.
yeah.
But whatever.
Whatever. Your show at the Concord is sold out, and obviously people. I mean, I went to my first really packed, sweaty gig just last week. I've been to a few gigs, but none of them have been like that. And it was almost like, yeah, we're free. We're free to do what we want with everything going on in the background, but still, we just kind of
Yeah,
well, fuck it. We gotta just get on with it, haven't we? As best as
we
we
have to get
can.
on
So
with it. Yeah,
yeah,
and try to help in any
yeah,
way that we can, and
yeah.
just continue on. There's nothing else you can do, I guess.
So with regards to the new album, obviously you've worked a lot with Dan Carey in the past, but this time, well, he apparently got COVID, but then suddenly the Hot Chip guys hyped up, didn't they? And then went from there. So
Yeah.
slightly new experience for you, a new producer, but also maybe a different kind of vibe and sound.
So we had just initially figured we were going to go in with Dan, and
Yeah,
then obviously do the next album. But with COVID and everything else, things kept getting delayed and blah 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 blah. And then I was weirdly enough not weird, but I was doing another project with Igor and Lima Cavalera
yeah,
and Joe and Al, like an electronic Joe Goddard and Al Doyle.